Hello and welcome students once again to the English classes. I hope you are doing fine. As I am given to understand, you have attended the classes of Sabyasachi sir for the past 2 or so weeks, and I am also given to understand that he has taught you many things from advertisements, letters and writing skills. Today once again we shall revisit the prose and poetry part from either of our books, the Snapshots or the Hornbill, and we shall see that what we are going to learn today. Okay. As far as the class goes, the academic part goes, today I have thought for you that I shall be teaching another poem piece or a piece of poetry from the book Hornbill. Alright. The last time around we completed another poem, or the first poem, called as the Laburnum Talk. Today we shall be talking about another poem called as The Voice of the Rain. It is written by another great poet. He is also an American great. His name is Walt Whitman. Alright. Walt Whitman is mostly famous for his odes and ballads. Odes and ballads are two different types or genres of poetry. Ode is a poem or a long lyrical poem written in the appreciation of somebody or something. Alright. The poet who was most famous for his odes was John Keats, one of the all-time greats in the world of literature. And Walt Whitman, an American great, he has written a poem called as "O Captain, My Captain." This poem was an ode. You can also consider it to be an elegy written in the memory of the late President Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was the first American black president, and he was the person who abolished the slave system or the system of slavery in the United States. Okay, this poem is again written by Walt Whitman. We shall be talking about the poem in detail, and as you must be remembering, we need to understand, or we need to keep in mind, three different things when we are talking about a poem or poetry per se. Number one, we need to remember the theme of the poem. Number two, we need to remember the structure of the poem. And number three, most importantly, we need to remember or keep in mind the sense or the feel of it. Alright? Having said so, let us begin. The Voice of the Rain by Walt Whitman. Here goes the text. "And who art thou, said I to the soft falling shower, which, strange to tell, gave me an answer, as here translated. I am the poem of earth, said the voice of the rain. Eternal I rise impalpable, out of the land and the bottomless sea. Upward to heaven, whence, vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same. I descend to lave the drops, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me were seeds only, latent, unborn. And forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin, and make pure and beautify it. For song issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, wrecked or unwrecked, duty with love returns." It's a small poem written by Walt Whitman. This is all the poem that is about. Okay? Now, let's move and try and analyze, try and understand what the poet and the poem are trying to tell us. Okay? Let's look at the first line. "And who art thou? Who art thou?" It is written in Victorian English. Alright? A little bit of an age-old English that is probably not used today, at least by the commoners like you and I. It may be, or it might have been used by poets or people who are poets at heart. Okay? So who art thou means who are you. Art means art. Thou means you. So again, the poem begins by saying, "And who art thou, said I to the soft falling shower." It begins in the first person. The narrator himself is talking, and he or she is talking to something, and that something is the rain or the shower. And what is he saying, the narrator? The narrator says, "And who art thou, said I to the soft falling shower." So the poet says, the narrator says, that I was talking to the shower and I asked it, who are you? Whom did I ask it to? I asked it to the soft falling shower. That means continuously falling, not very heavy rain, but continuously falling soft pitter and patter of the rain. I was speaking to the shower, I was speaking to the rain, and I asked the rain, who are you? And who art thou? What next? Which strange riddle gave me an answer, as here translated. And then the poet goes ahead to say, which strange riddle? That means that the rain, strangely enough, the shower, strangely enough, gave me an answer back. Because the rain does not talk, at least not in the language that humans understand. But the poet says, beautifully, weaves his wonderful words and tells us how the rain is speaking to him, having a conversation with him. And he says, which strange to tell, gave me an answer, as here translated. The shower, the poet says, gives him an answer, gave him an answer. And what did he answer, or what did she answer? It is translated as such. That means the poet says that whatever the shower told me, I have tried to translate it in my own language, in my own human language, for you to have a look and have an understanding. And the poem of earth said the voice of the rain. Fair and straight, the poem told the poet, the shower, the rain told the poet, and the poem of the earth, बारिश जो है, बरसात जो है, वो इस कवि से कह रही है कि मैं पृथ्वी की कविता हूँ. I am the poem of the earth, said the voice of the rain. बारिश की जो आवाज़ है, बारिश की आवाज़ ने कवि से कहा कि मैं पृथ्वी की, धरा की, इस भूमि की कविता हूँ. Right? And then why goes on to explain. Eternal I rise, impalpable, out of the land and the bottomless sea. Eternal I rise. That means the rain says that I keep on rising. I keep on rising. You guys are students of science. You must be able to link, you must be able to connect the science that is involved behind this beautiful piece of poetry. The shower says, or the rain says, eternal I rise. That means it is talking about the evaporation of water. Where from? From the earth, as well as from the sea, the water bodies. So the shower, the rain goes on to say, eternal I rise, impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea. Impalpable. Palpable. What do you mean by the word palpable? Palpable. P-A-L-P-A-B-L-E. Something which is congruous. Something which can be touched, seen, or visible, or acknowledged. Alright? Something which can be felt, but with the five senses is called as palpable. So what do you mean by impalpable? Something which is not understood, not touched. This means can be touched. Alright, can be touched. Something that can be touched or seen or recognized is palpable. So impalpable is just the opposite. Alright, it's just the opposite. And it is the converse of what palpable speaks about. Impalpable. I cannot be seen, I cannot be touched. Alright? I can only be seen in the form of rain. But then when I come down I am seen. When I go up, you are not able to see me. Are we able to see the evaporation that happens each and every moment of our lives? No, we are not. And then the shower goes on to say, where does he rise from? He rises from the earth, and he rises from the seas, the bottomless seas. And what do you mean the bottomless seas? Of course, the seas do have bottom. But then, what do you mean? The deep seas, the deep oceans. Alright? Then the shower goes on to say, upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. I rise up toward the sky, the heaven. Heaven here means the sky. Up towards the heaven. Whence? When? Whence means when. Whence? Vaguely formed. I am vaguely formed. Vague. I'm sure, I'm certain all of you probably know the meaning of this word vague. V-A-G-U-E. In a way it is impalpable. In a way it is impalpable. Vague. Something which is incongruous. Something which is unacknowledged. Something which is strange, probably, in a way. Vague. Not very clear. Not very clear. Unclear. Confusing. Opaque. These are synonyms, alright? The antonym of palpable is impalpable, so probably impalpable too. So the shower says, eternally I rise towards the heaven when I vaguely get transformed. Then he says, altogether changed and yet the same. Altogether changed. Now here the rain is talking about which process? If you remember, a chemical process which is called as condensation. Alright? The rain is talking about first the evaporation and then the condensation of the rains to form clouds in the sky. Alright? And then it goes on to say, and yet the same. Change, altogether change, and yet the same. That means my form changes, my physical form changes. Due to a chemical phenomenon, my physical form changes. Alright? Although that change is not a chemical change, it's actually a physical change. Because evaporation is a physical change, condensation is a physical change. You can get back the same things from the original stuff what they came from. So the same way, eternally completely changed, but then yet the same. That means I came as vapor, I came as air, got changed into water, but I am the same. I will be vapor again. That's what the shower is talking about. And then the shower goes on to say, and all that in them without me, I descend to lave the drops, atomies, dust layers of the globe. I descend, I fall down to lave the drops. Lave. What do you mean by the word lave? Lave means to clean, to wash, to shower. Alright? Lave. To clean, to wash, to shower. Alright? So ultimately I descend, the rain says, I descend to lay the drops, atomies, dust layers of the globe. What does the rain do when it talks? It washes everything, it cleanses everything. And what is that everything talks about? The droughts. जो सूखा पड़ा होता है उसको भी मैं धो देता हूँ, आराम से भिगो देता हूँ. Atomies माने all the bacteria. You're talking about the very minuscule objects, microscopic objects and things and animals and plants and life forms. Alright? Atomies. And then dust layers of the globe. जहाँ पर धूल जम गई है, सूखे की वजह से जहाँ पर धूल जम गई होती है, वो सबको मैं धो देता हूँ. So the shower says, I descend from the heavens to lave, to shower, to cleanse, alright, to wash various things. Wherever I fall, whatever I touch upon, I cleanse it, I wash it, I shower it. And then the rain says, and all that in them without me were seeds only, latent, unborn. And all that in them, और उनकी जो बनावट है, उनका जो composition है, वो manifest तभी होगा जब मैं आऊंगी. रेन, बरसात कह रही है, बरखा कह रही है, बारिश कह रही है कि जब मैं आऊंगी तब जाकर के उनमें जो जीव है, उनमें जो चेतना है, उनमें जो जिंदगी है, वो तब तक लेटेंट है, छिपी हुई. लेटेंट, something which is hidden, something which is not absolutely visible, not superficial but in a way subficial, alright, submerged, जो अंदर होता है. तो वहाँ पर क्या बोल रहे हैं? And all that in them without me were seeds only. बिना मुझे, बिना मेरे, वो सब सिर्फ सीड्स थे, बीज थे. ऑलराइट? लेटेंट, अनबॉर्न, वो पैदा नहीं हुए, वो लेटेंट है, छिपे हुए. ऑलराइट? उनमें जो जैसे आप लोग होते हैं पोटेंट होते हैं, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, काइनेटिक एनर्जी आप पढ़ते हो, जो मूव करता है वो काइनेटिक एनर्जी, जो मूव नहीं करता है, जो एक जगह पर स्थित होता है, उसको हम लोग पोटेंशियल एनर्जी कहते हैं. लेटेंट, आप लोग केमिस्ट्री में भी पढ़ते हो, लेटेंट हीट ऑफ स्पेसिफिसिटी, लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन, लेटेंट हीट ऑफ so on and so forth. ये सब चीज़ आप पढ़ते हुए तो latent, until and unless I touch them, until and unless I bless them, until and unless I come and give them my blessings, until and unless I come down, cleanse them, wash them, and bring out the latent life forms in them, they are unborn. वो लोग पैदा नहीं होते हैं. सोए होते हैं, जिसको हम उड़िया में सुप्त बोलते हैं। लेटेंट माने सुप्त, डॉर्मेंट, है ना। आगे क्या है, एंड फॉरएवर बाय डे एंड नाइट आई गिव बैक लाइफ टू माय ओन ओरिजिन एंड मेक प्योर एंड ब्यूटिफाइड। एंड फॉरएवर बाय डे एंड नाइट, अनवरत हिसाब से, अविरत हिसाब से मैं बरसती रहती हूँ, चाहे दिन हो या रात हो। आई गिव बैक लाइफ टू माय ओन ओरिजिन, माय ओन ओरिजिन, मैं जहाँ से आई हूँ मैं उसे फिर से जान देती हूँ, जीवन देती हूँ। पृथ्वी से, भूमि से, भूतल से आई हूँ, समंदर से आई हूँ, समंदर के गर्भ से आई हूँ, और उसी को मैं फिर से जान देती हूँ। खाली हो गए फिर से भर देती हूँ। That's what the shower is talking about. And then what does she say? She says, and make pure and beautified. और उसको मैं फिर से वही untouched beauty, सुंदर, खूबसूरत बना देती हूँ। जो खाली हो गया, जो वर्जिन हो गया, उसको फिर से मैं कंप्लीट कर देती हूँ, फुल कर देती हूँ, प्रेग्नेंट कर देती हूँ, है ना। प्रेग्नेंट इज अ वर्ड विच इज यूज्ड एब्सोल्युटली डिफरेंटली other than science. So please don't take it the way it is used in science. It is used in a different way, contextually. Pregnant माने किसी की चीज को फलना फूलना बना देना, भरा भरा बना देना, हरा भरा बना देना, उस तरह से to beautify it, to pure it. And then for song issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love returns. ये एक तरीके से समराइज किया गया है ब्रैकेट में। अगर आप कविता को देखिएगा, एंटायर समरी जो है, एंटायर कविता जो है, इसकी समरी को यहाँ पर लिखी गई है। फॉर सॉन्ग इशूइंग फ्रॉम इट्स बर्थ प्लेस आफ्टर फुलफिलमेंट, वॉन्डरिंग, रेकेड और अनरेकेड, ड्यूली विद लव रिटर्न्स। माने कहा जा रहा है कि जो कविता होती है, फॉर सॉन्ग, जो भी संगीत होती है, क्या करती है वो? इशूइंग फ्रॉम इट्स बर्थ प्लेस, जहाँ से वो पैदा होती है, जहाँ से जन्म लेती है, वो वहाँ पर वापस आती है। आफ्टर फुलफिलिंग एंड वॉन्डरिंग, घूमने के बाद, जिंदगी के जो भी अनुभूति है वो सब करने के बाद, जिंदगी के जो भी दास्तान है वो सब दास्तान सुनाने के लिए वापस वो आती है। कहाँ पर? जहाँ से उसकी पैदाइश हुई है। रेकेड और अनरेकेड, ड्यूली विद लव रिटर्न्स, चाहे उसको कोई पूछे या ना पूछे, चाहे उसको कोई तवज्जो दे या ना दे, चाहे दिन हो या रात हो, चाहे हमें अच्छा लगे या बुरा लगे, रेकेड और अनरेकेड, ड्यूली विद लव रिटर्न्स, वो अपने प्यार के साथ, अपने मोहब्बत के साथ, अपने प्रेम के साथ वापस वहीं आती है जहाँ से वो गई थी, है ना। जैसे कहते हैं कि भूले बिसरे वापस घर ही आए शाम को लौट। उसी तरह ये जो कविता है, इस कविता में संगीत के बारे में कहा जा रहा है, बारिश के बारे में कहा जा रहा है कि बारिश जो है वो पृथ्वी की संगीत है, वो धरती माता जो है उनका गीत है, और वो ऊपर घूमने के लिए जाती है, जर्नी करने के लिए जाती है, जर्नी करती है, अपने साथ जो भी दास्तान, अपने साथ जो भी कहानियां हैं, वो सब कहानियां लेकर के वापस वहीं आती हैं जहाँ से वो ऊपर गई। This is what the poem is all about. All right. Please have a read of the poem. Go through the questions and answers. In the evening hours, please discuss it with Sir Bisati sir. If you have still any doubts left, you are free to call me or text me and ask me. I hope all of you are doing well. Please understand the poem. Look for the difficult words. If there are any words which I have missed out upon, if there are any words which you still need better explanation about, please do give me a call, do give me a text, WhatsApp me, text me, or you can ask the same question to Sachi sir too. Alright, I hope and pray that you are all doing well, studying well, putting your best of efforts, eating healthy, staying healthy. See you in the next class. Until then, goodbye. Thank you.